Welcome to today's Agrination, and we are coming straight from Taita Taveta County, an absolutely beautiful space. So much so that in my background at the very end, we do have Mount Kilimanjaro, and on my far right, we do have Pale Hills. What a beautiful destination. But of course, the focus is on Agrination, where we're going to be looking at modern day technology that our farmers are deploying in their practice. Now, if there's a trend that is going to be taking over both locally and internationally, it has to be automation in farms. And that is exactly what we will be studying, more specifically automation when it comes to irrigation. Come along with me, let us meet our expert who's going to show us how they're using automatic irrigation to make work easier in this farm. Mr. Anthony.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good
Thank
to see
you
too.
so much for having us here.
Yes.
We want to see the technology that you're using in this farm. We're already impressed by the irrigation that is here.
Okay.
So, sijui kama tunaweza anza safari tukaone.
We can go. We can go.
All right. Mr. Anthony, you have been an agronomist for over 20 years. Please advise us on what skill agronomists need to have so that we make sure that we're giving the best advice to our farmers, and at the same time, they don't fall into the hands of fake agronomists in the market.
Okay, for you to get the right qualification of an agronomist, so after studying, after school, what is important is that you need to get the right experience. You don't come out of class and you say that you're an agronomist. So there are steps that are involved. So you need to go to the ground. You need to understand how the crop is grown, the whole cycle of the crop, what is required, and that takes some time. So take some time to gain experience so that you call yourself a qualified agronomist.
So as a farmer who's coming to deploy the services of an agronomist for the very first time, what should I ask for so that I certify that this is a very qualified agronomist?
A qualified agronomist should be able to understand which crops grow where, because crops don't grow in all the environments.
Yes.
So he needs to understand what crops are suited to different environments. And then a qualified agronomist is supposed to understand the practices that are involved during the growth of the crop, right from rod preparation up to harvesting, and even after harvesting. You need to understand what is involved.
Great.
Yes.
Our conversation today is going to be focusing on mechanization in the space of agriculture. Please tell us why it's very important for our farmers to lean towards the direction of mechanization, especially now.
They need to lean to the idea of mechanization. One, because when you apply mechanization, you cut on the cost of labor. And again, if you look at the quality of work, the results that you get when you do it mechanically, the results are much better. And when you use mechanical way, you approach it mechanically, you're going to get better yields.
Great. So now there's a farmer who's listening to us right now, and yes, they want to go the direction of modern day technology, but they're feeling the technology we're talking about is very expensive. How do they afford that? How do they start? What advice would you give such a farmer?
It doesn't come, okay, farmers don't have the right, the capital required. And what I would advise a farmer is to start small. You start small, make sure that you are doing the right thing, so that you get benefit of what you're doing. You get the result, the profits, and once you accumulate the profit with time, you'll have machines to buy the machinery,
right,
and you become mechanized.
So now we're talking about the pivot irrigation, which is automated. Please give us a description of what it is and how it works.
We have different methods of types of irrigation, systems of irrigation, and what we're using here is a pivot system. Why we've chosen pivot irrigation, you understand that Taita Taveta is very, very hot. Temperatures go very, very high. and that subjects heat stress to the crop. So that because it will affect your productivity. So when you use a pivot irrigation, you'll be able to offer a good environment for the growth of the crop, a microclimate for the growth of the crop, and your crop will grow properly, and you're going to achieve the right yields.
All right.
Yes.
So it uses overhead irrigation.
We call it overhead irrigation because you are irrigating from the top of the crop.
Yes.
Yes, that's why it's called overhead irrigation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, over time with the conversations we'll be having with farmers, experts, there's the notion that with overhead irrigation, there's wastage of water as well.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that when it comes to this system?
Yes, you're going to use a lot of water, but that outweighs the shortcomings, because the yields you're going to get higher yields, and you're going to recover on the wastage of water that you incur, and even the quality of produce that you get is quite high.
So if I want to get it, where do I get it from? Where do I buy it? And do I have specific people who come and do the installation for me?
Here in Kenya, we have different companies that are helping farmers to install the pivots.
So the ones we have in Kenya are the ones who just install? Or
they help the farmer the importation of the materials, because they are not locally available. They help farmers to import the materials, and they come and install the system in the right manner.
All right.
For you.
Does it matter the size of my farm? So does it come in different sizes?
Yes, it comes in different sizes based on depending on the size of your farm.
All right.
Yes.
And let's talk about costs. Yes. Rough cost estimate, is it affordable?
Rough cost estimate, a 65 hectare pivot will cost you about 11 million.
11 million.
Yes. That's why I say for a small farmer, you need to start small, and then with time you accumulate money to be able to buy the pivot.
All right.
Yes.
So if you compare using this system of irrigation, pivot irrigation, maybe just take us through clearly some of the benefits for using this system.
Some of the benefits of pivot irrigation include the microclimate that you offer to the crop. I say the Taveta is very hot, so you need to cool the crop. So that is one of the benefits. When you apply water using pivot irrigation, there is even distribution of water. You don't have areas that don't receive water, so you get even distribution of water. And again, the other advantage is that when you're using pivot irrigation, it helps also. It's like rain. When you apply that water that way, you'll be able to suffocate some of the pests that attack your crop. So that way it reduces on your pest population. Yes.
Is it a complicated?
Yeah, you reduce on pest population, and so the damage to your crop will go down, and even the use of the chemicals will also go down.
Great.
When we're using the pivot irrigation.
All right.
Yes.
Now we are talking about it being automatic.
Yes.
Help us see that part. At what point does the automation happen?
Automation, it's controlled from a central point, whereby you can command it to go forward, to move back. You control the speed. You can move it faster. You can move it slower. Yes.
And also the time when it's irrigates.
Exactly.
Does it require a special skill to do that?
Yes, you require somebody who's qualified to operate it. Not everybody can. It requires some knowledge.
All right.
Yes.
Great. So you've said I can also control at what points I want it to do the irrigation. Now I'm very curious to see that whole control unit, control room, if I can call that.
It is possible.
Great. Let's go.
Let's go.
Now, here is a did you know fact of the day. Now, did you know by joining a cooperative, you increase your ability to access credit and other financial facilities, quality and affordable input, plus agronomy services. Those are some of the advantages of being part of a cooperative. And I know you're wondering where we've left you with the Agri Nation. Next week, we'll pick it up at